Out on the windswept coast of Cornwall, England, a cluster of giant white domes stands against the sky. It looks like something from a sci-fi film, but this is GCHQ Bude, a very real listening post. And its job is to eavesdrop on the secrets hidden deep beneath the Atlantic waves. Down there, a massive network of fiber-optic cables crisscrosses the ocean floor. These cables are the arteries of our modern world, carrying everything from your emails and search history to sensitive government communications. And from this remote outpost in Cornwall, the British government found a way to tap into it all. But this isn't just a British story. It's about a secret deal, a legal blind spot, and a quiet payment of over £100 million that turned this listening station into the perfect backdoor for America's most powerful intelligence agency, the NSA. This is the story of a loophole, big enough to drive the entire internet through, and how the NSA paid its closest ally to do what it was forbidden from doing itself: spy on its own citizens. The year is 2010, and the NSA has a major hurdle: the Fourth Amendment of the U.S. Constitution. This fundamental right protects American citizens from unreasonable searches, which in the digital age meant the NSA couldn't just turn its massive surveillance apparatus on its own people. But in the world of intelligence, where data is king, this was seen as a dangerous blind spot. Meanwhile, across the Atlantic, their oldest partner, the British GCHQ, operated under a very different set of rules. The bond between the NSA and GCHQ, forged during World War II, is a cornerstone of the Five Eyes intelligence alliance. They share everything: technology, people, secrets. But they also shared a crucial advantage. A GCHQ document later revealed that the British regulatory system was seen as having a light oversight regime compared to the US. This difference wasn't a problem. It was, as one internal memo chillingly put it, a selling point. This selling point became the basis for a secret transaction. Documents leaked by whistleblower Edward Snowden show a steady stream of cash flowing from the NSA to GCHQ. In 2009, the NSA sent nearly £23 million. The next year, that jumped to almost £40 million. Over 3 years, the payments totaled at least £100 million. This wasn't just a friendly gift, it was an investment. The NSA was buying access and capability. The money was poured into projects with ambitious, almost sinister names. Over £17 million was designated for a program called Mastering the Internet. More funds were wired directly to the Bude facility in Cornwall, the nerve center for the whole operation. In return for the cash, the expectations were crystal clear. One GCHQ strategy briefing stated, "GCHQ must pull its weight and be seen to pull its weight." The Americans had raised concerns about meeting NSA's minimum expectations, and GCHQ admitted it still remains short of the full NSA ask. The pressure was on to deliver, and what they delivered was the soul of the Internet. Under the codename Tempora, GCHQ achieved something truly unprecedented. For years, its engineers had been working secretly with commercial companies, described as intercept partners, to place taps directly onto the transatlantic fiber-optic cables landing on British shores. This gave them access to the raw, unfiltered data flowing between North America and Europe. With the NSA's funding and its powerful data-sifting tools like XKeyscore, GCHQ built a system to not just monitor this fire hose of information, but to copy and store it. The scale of this operation was mind-boggling. One GCHQ report from the time boasted of hitting a new high, processing over 39 billion events in a single 24-hour period. By 2012, GCHQ was handling 600 million telephone events every single day. They had tapped more than 200 fiber-optic cables, giving them access to a volume of data equivalent to transmitting the entire contents of the British Library 192 times every 24 hours. This was what insiders called the full take. A giant digital net that captured and stored the content of emails, Facebook messages, website histories, and phone calls for up to 3 days. The metadata, who was talking to whom, when, and from where, was kept for up to 30 days. It was a system of suspicionless surveillance on a truly global scale. And for the NSA, it was the perfect solution to their American problem. Here's how the loophole worked. Since the data was collected by a British agency, on British soil, under British law, the NSA could argue that it wasn't directly targeting Americans. GCHQ would collect the entire haystack of data. Then, using the tools and funding the NSA had provided, both agencies could search through it for the needles they were looking for. The data flowed seamlessly back to Fort Meade. GCHQ documents noted that by 2011, it was sharing more metadata with the NSA than the NSA was collecting itself. A staggering 850,000 NSA employees and private contractors with top-secret clearance were given access to GCHQ 8SES databases. It was a brilliant, elegant, and frankly terrifying bypass of constitutional safeguards. A legal workaround that cost £100 million. The NSA didn't need to break the law. They could simply rent a foreign intelligence agency that had different laws. For years, this system operated in complete secrecy, unknown to the public, and even to most of the politicians who were supposed to oversee it. It was a ghost in the machine, a program so vast it was almost invisible. Then, in June 2013, everything changed. An NSA contractor named Edward Snowden fled to Hong Kong with a hard drive full of top-secret documents. His revelations, published in The Guardian and other newspapers, laid the secret alliance bare for the world to see. They exposed the payments, the flimsy legal justifications, and the breathtaking scope of Tempora. The story of the £100 million loophole was finally out. In the aftermath, governments on both sides of the Atlantic scrambled to defend their actions. Officials insisted the programs were legal, necessary, and vital for national security. But the trust between the public and the agencies sworn to protect them was shattered. In a quiet, ironic twist, a secret British court would later rule that the data-sharing arrangement had, in fact, been unlawful before the public knew about it. The very act of keeping the rules of the program secret had made the program illegal. It was Snowden's disclosure that forced the government to publicly avow the rules, which, in the court's view, made the program legal going forward. A strange kind of vindication for the whistleblower. The story of the £100 million loophole is about more than just technology. It's a story about power, secrecy, and the age-old conflict between security and liberty. It shows how, in the digital age, laws can be bypassed with clever engineering and secret handshakes. And it leaves us with a critical question. If a constitutional right can be quietly outsourced for a price, what is that right truly worth? Thanks for watching. If you found this story as fascinating and important as we did, please hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and ring the bell so you don't miss our next deep dive. See you next time.